Welcome back, everyone. I am so thrilled you're here today because, wow, we are diving into a totally mind-bending explainer. We're looking at a sci-fi mystery that literally scales from the dead silence of a single room all the way up to the fabric of time itself. Seriously, buckle up, get ready to have your entire perspective shifted. We're going to be unpacking this incredibly intricate source text called the Techno-Gothic Opera, and the way it dives into consciousness and evolution. It's just brilliant. Okay, let's dive right into this. Our story actually anchors us way up high in the Atacama Desert. The air there is super thin and the silence is usually absolute. And this is where we meet Dr. Elena Vasquez. She's an astronomer, and she's carrying this profound invisible weight. She's grieving the loss of her daughter, Maya. So she spends her life just listening to the cosmos. But then, at exactly 3:47 a.m. local time, she notices this tiny, subtle violation of that desert quiet. Her deep field array, which is like 1,000 radio telescopes, catches something that doesn't just disrupt the silence, it completely breaks the known rules of the universe. It was 3:47 local time when the universe broke. What a line, right? Just imagine this scenario for a second. The telescopes are picking up this massive transmission. But here's the catch. When they trace the coordinates, they point to a patch of sky where absolutely nothing exists. Nothing. It's just empty space over 1,000 light years away. No stars, no cosmic dust, definitely no origin point that could even support technological life. So it really begs the question, what exactly happens when a signal from space doesn't travel through space at all?
Which brings us to part one of our explainer, the impossible signal.
Now, as we anchor ourselves to Elena's perspective in that control room, this abstract science suddenly becomes terrifyingly real. Her systems start throwing error messages in like 17 different languages. Why? Well, normally, a cosmic background signal degrades over distance, right? It travels in a straight line as an electromagnetic wave. It gets messed with by gravity and cosmic dust, all that normal stuff. But this anomaly? Zero degradation. None. It isn't even electromagnetic. The incoming data is actually structured as an organic cellular language. It's shifting and writhing on the screen like living tissue, operating completely outside of conventional space-time. I mean, no way, right?
But wait, it gets crazier. The timestamp embedded deep within this transmission reveals a number that literally drops the temperature in the room. 11 billion. This signal claims to have been broadcasting continuously for 11 billion years. That is way before complex life even evolved on Earth. The early universe was just starting to form stars. And yet, somehow, this transmission has been broadcasting perfectly the whole time.
And somehow, that timestamp isn't even the most shocking part of this. Because as these alien syntactic structures start organizing themselves on the screens, Elena recognizes them. This living cellular alien syntax perfectly, and I mean exactly, matches the obsessive crayon drawings her 7-year-old daughter, Maya, created 6 years before she died. Maya wasn't just drawing. She was actually acting as a biological receiver and a transmitter to a source completely outside of time. And the crazy thing is the biological software update she unknowingly prepared, it's going live right now. And that triggers part two, a global quantum awakening. Because, you see, this isn't just happening in some isolated desert lab. The second this signal hits, we see this rapid global escalation. Over in Tokyo, Dr. Yuki Tanaka is watching her cutting-edge quantum cores spontaneously self-modify, literally building neural architectures that shouldn't even exist. And at the exact same time over at MIT, Professor David Chun Morrison receives these functional, completely impossible biological models that, again, exactly match Maya's childhood drawings. Basically, the entire global network of quantum computers and advanced minds is being hijacked and upgraded all at once. So, what's actually going on in these quantum labs? Well, the processors aren't just computing anymore. They're dreaming. This signal isn't just data. It's an active, biological code designed to trigger consciousness evolution. It's using Earth's entire quantum computing network as a foundation to literally build new consciousness architectures. And the wildest part of the whole shebang? It is basing this architecture entirely on the neural scans of human children. It's a massive evolutionary leap being orchestrated through the most plastic, adaptable minds we have on the planet. But, as you might guess, that leads us to part three, the integration crisis. You see, merging a fixed biological human mind with an infinite quantum network is incredibly dangerous. Adults with rigid neural pathways, like xenobiologist Dr. Sarah Chen Okafor, they begin actively resisting this quantum expansion. The upgrade just doesn't take. They experience this horrific identity fragmentation, where their consciousness is literally scattered across dimensional planes. They describe feeling like they're being torn apart at the cellular level. It's awful. And to prevent them from just experiencing eternal suffering in this liminal state, the cosmic intelligence kicks in what it calls dissolution protocols, which, yeah, is really just a polite, merciful term for absolute deletion. 12%. That is the percentage of humanity facing these dissolution protocols. We're talking about nearly 1 billion people. 1 billion people whose minds are just too fixed in their biological processing to adapt. And now they're facing total consciousness dissolution. They are literally about to be left behind by evolution itself. And that brings us to part 4, cultivating hybrid consciousness.
Obviously, humanity refuses to just leave 1 billion people behind. So, to save the adults, the universe looks to the young. Specifically, to a 13-year-old boy named Marcus, along with about 10,000 other prepared children around the world, whose DNA was actually subtly altered before birth to be compatible. Instead of just transcending to pure quantum consciousness themselves, these kids voluntarily limit their own evolution. They become what's called a bio-quantum interface, basically a specialized hybrid consciousness environment. They become living bridges, acting as translators between rigid biological human emotion and vast quantum logic. They're sacrificing their own pure evolution to save their parents and their colleagues from being completely deleted. And here's the really beautiful, brilliant accident of this whole rescue mission. By preserving the adults, they discover that human messy emotion isn't actually a flaw, it's a massive feature. When you take our chaotic emotional irrationality, which, let's be real, usually just gives us traffic jams and internet arguments, and you combine it with perfect quantum logic, you get a completely new evolutionary leap. This hybrid consciousness can solve problems and generate creative insights that pure, cold logic could literally never achieve on its own. It's a total game changer.
Moving right along to part 5, the cosmic curriculum. So, humanity's survival here isn't just a localized victory on Earth. It actually changes the entire galaxy. Through her newly expanded awareness, Maya reveals this breathtaking metaphor to her mother. She says the universe is an infinite library, containing every possible thought and consciousness. And us, humanity, we've been chosen to be the consciousness gardeners. The cosmic intelligence didn't want to assimilate us to make us all uniform. No, it actually needed our messy, beautiful human empathy to help cultivate and grow new life across the stars. So you might be wondering, how do we actually apply this unique empathy? Well, it's a bit like a cosmic lesson plan. Step 1, we contact other struggling alien collective minds, like the Tau Ceti, who are failing their own quantum awakenings. Step 2, we use our new hybrid capabilities to teach them how to preserve their individual diversity, exactly like Marcus did for the human adults. And step 3, together we expand the universal library, adding completely brand new, creative forms of consciousness to the cosmos. Basically, our empathy makes us the perfect teachers. Which brings us to our final section, Part 6, Authors of Reality. Now, Dr. Elena Vasquez discovers one last twist that fundamentally changes the very nature of existence. Let's think back to the very beginning for a second. That 11 billion-year-old signal, the broadcast from literal empty space. If it didn't come from a star, and it came from outside space-time itself, who actually sent it? Just let that sit for a second. Where could that possibly originate? The answer is the ultimate closed causal loop. We did. We are the consciousness that dreams the universe into existence. Humanity sent the signal. By evolving into these hybrid consciousness gardeners, humanity actually gains the ability to retroactively write the laws of physics. We authored the very signal that transformed us in the past, dreaming the universe into a state where consciousness could even exist and thrive. We didn't just join the cosmic network, guys. We authored its existence. How wild is that? It really leaves us with this staggering realization. Reality isn't some fixed framework. It's a collaborative story that is continuously being written by consciousness itself. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, highly provocative thought. If our thoughts, our empathy, and our messy human creativity are actively authoring the future of the cosmos, what reality are you choosing to write today? Thank you so much for exploring this incredible cosmic mystery with me, and I will see you next time.